in the shop having a look at the Nitecore MH40GTR hunting kit. Claims that it puts out 1200 lumens and runs for a distance of 1004 meters. So we're going to start off by having a look at what's included in the hunting kit. I'll explain the difference between the standard torch kit and the hunting kit. Now the hunting kit retails on the lower side of $294, whereas the torch on its own on the lower side of $231. So let's have a bit of a looky. So it comes in this nice little carry case here. Oh, I got it upside down before I open that up. So a nice padded case here. You've got a torch holster here that'll go onto a belt or anything you can really attach it to. Set of instructions, multi-language, your warranty card. Now you've got a 12-volt charger, cigarette plug. Just move these over a little bit further. You've got your 240-volt pack here. You've got your torch mount that goes onto a scope. We'll have a bit of a closer look at that soon. You've got your remote switch here as well, so that replaces your tail end cap. We'll have a bit of a closer look again at that in a little bit. You've got your accessory kit in here, so you've got a lanyard, you've got an anti-roll kit, you've got a spare set of O-rings and a replacement torch rubber cap. So that's pretty handy. That's something I like about Nitecore, so they come with spare parts. And then, of course, you've got the MH40 GTR torch in all its glory there. Runs on two 18650 cells. And from memory, they were 3400 milliamp hour. Oh, let's just pop it open and have a look. 2600, sorry. But in the Nitecore range, you've actually got access to larger cells, and you guys yourselves will have access to larger cells as well. Now, that's the torch in a nutshell there. I went out for a little bit of testing last night to have a bit of a play. Now, it's got a really nice spot on it. Now, at 100 meters, you've got a little bit of flood, but good bit of spot there. Then I went for a walk around the block, found a nice stretch of road. Good visual without any type of magnification. I could see or make out objects at the 300-400 meter mark, no worries. And then I ran out of road. But that's about my eyesight anyway for making out things. What I couldn't test out was this on a rifle, looking through a magnified scope to be able to see what I can see down the road a bit further, because, you know, it's not America, you can't walk down the streets with a rifle. So we'll just leave that one there for a moment. Actually, I'll walk you through the features before I get to other bits and pieces. So first off, you just got a single on-off tail switch. So that'll be on, and then if you give it a half twist, because I've set up this mode, it goes into half light, but it has two other usable user-defined settings as well. You've got strobe as well as SOS, which can be set up. And when you unscrew this one here, this is your charging port and your LED indicator as well. We'll have a bit more of a closer look at that a bit later, so there will be a section dedicated to charging, because we get a lot of these that come back after people haven't read the instructions saying the batteries are dead, it's not charging, where it's a case of user error there, because the torch needs to be switched on to be able to charge. All right, we'll move her out of the way. So I'll have a bit more look at this tail switch here. So essentially this just screws, whoops, good thing they've got a good shockproof rating. Take off your tail switch there. And this one screws on here. But not drop that one. So single on-off switch here. But your remote switch here is just a momentary. On all three bits, it's just one large button there. Momentary on, so press and hold the lever on. So I'll take that one back off. So I don't have any big fancy cameras or anything to record how well the the torch works at night, but here's a couple of clips while I'll set up and talk about the next bit. So basically about how it runs, the distances I sort of got and that. So there's nothing too fancy, but you'll just have to take my word on it how well it works. It's not a bad little setup. I mean, yeah, so bear with me for a second. It's a bit awkward to do this around a camera. Alrighty. So now we're going to have a look at the scope clamp here. So as you can see, I've got my rifle set up here. Now a little bit of the closer look at the clamp here. So it's a very basic clamp. Unscrew this. This pulls apart nice and easy. So one side's going to sit on your scope, obviously. The other side's going to come round and sit on your check ring just here. Get it about where you want it. Give it a little bit of a wriggle as you're tightening it up so it can sort of center itself. Yeah, I would recommend reefing down on a little bit more than that, but we're just doing a demonstration here. So now if we have a look there, it's nice and easy around the scope there. You've got access to your on-off switch here. But as I said before, you've got a remote switch there. So I have tested it out on my property. I've only got about 100 meters worth of looking, and it's phenomenal, especially paired with that Leopold scope. It's phenomenal scope in low light situations. I was having a bit of a poke around the yard last night, sorry, with this torch looking through the scope. It worked phenomenal. So let's say if you did want to run the remote switch, essentially you would run that down there. Let's get this on a bit of a rotate, bring your camera down a little bit. And about where your hand's got to be, you would obviously mount that on there. So every time you need some light, you'll just press on your button there. So I did mention that we're going to go through charging. So we're having a bit of a close-up here. That'll be your charging port on this top one just up the top there, and then your LED indicator just on the bottom here. So as mentioned before, you need to have your torch turned on. Now obviously if it's flat you sort of won't know, but I'll show you in two different bits. So we've got our torch on, and well, it's a bit tricky to do with the camera there. Now as you can see down there, you've got a nice steady red flashing light there. That means she's charging. Now if the torch was turned off and plugged in, sorry, I've turned it around. See how you've got a rapid flash there? It means the torch isn't turned on to be charged. So this will be the same if you couldn't turn it on due to flat batteries. You would plug this in, you would recognise that the switch isn't on, and you'll get a rapid flash and it's not charging. As soon as you turn that torch on, you've got a steady red flash there. The light itself isn't on. And then once she's fully charged, it'll be a steady red light. So hopefully I've explained how to charge it quite well. That way, you know, for people that don't want to read the instructions, there you go. Now you've got a video. So overall for the price and the distance that it puts out, not a bad little kit. I think one of the dramas is it's quite a large torch, but you really need that deep reflector to be able to get that distance in a decent spot. I mean, there's smaller 1000 lumen torches out there, but they've got a real shallow reflector, which means you're not going to get that spot at distance. Yeah, it's just not going to happen really. But yeah, hopefully this has been pretty handy, and I'll put some links down below for some further information on the torch. And yeah, have a good one.